One of the things that I see a lot of people end up wasting, and I'm no different than this, and I've wasted so much time in my life, well, I just said it, time. I never actually thought about it or looked at it until one day I was reading a book, and I can't think of the book off the top of my head right now, but they had basically broke it down for me and said that the average life expectancy of a male in the United States was roughly around 75 to 80 years old, but that was maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. So, if I take in calculation how technology can prolong lives and medicine can help prolong lives, I'll say that average expectancy is about 82, 83. And when I break that down into days, that's 30,000 days. That's not a whole lot of days considering that I'm 28 years old right now and I've already used 10,000 of those days. So I live basically one third of my life if those numbers are current and accurate. They probably won't be accurate, but it gives me a ballpark range to realize that one third of my life is already lived and I don't have anything that I really wanted to show for it. And I know I may not be the only person that feels that way or feel that I could be doing a lot more with my life and why am I not doing that? And I thought about that for a long period of time and I started making the changes that I needed to. But it all started with time because I had to use my time wisely and find out what I'm valued for and how much my time is valued at. And once I ended up doing this, a lot of things in my life ended up changing, and I started getting a lot of things that I wanted in life, and I became a lot happier overall because of this. My happiness wasn't relied solely on this, but this had a huge impact on it. And with that came another aspect into my life, which was regret. I never wanted to regret not being able to try to do something that I wanted. And that's when I realized that my whole life I've been failing because I never stepped out of my comfort zone. I never tried to do something and I never tried to accomplish the goals that I wanted. And I told myself that I'm never going to have that happen. I never want to go to my deathbed and live with the regret that I never tried. If I try and I don't make it, I'm okay with that. The fact being is that I tried and I used my time towards something that I really wanted and I was passionate about. And when I say that I'm going to try, I'm not saying that given 6 months, given a year, that I'm in it for the long haul and that's something that I want to do. And everybody's different and you'll find your niche or you'll find what you're passionate about. And when you decide to make the choice to go all in and you decide that you want to give it your effort and you want to try to make your passion a reality, don't give up before it's too short. So many people stop right before they made it. That's one of the biggest things that I can tell you is continue, see it all the way through. If you're not making it right now, don't worry about it. That's okay. Continue pushing through, and I can guarantee you that one day it will happen. Because for me, a lot of goals that I wanted in my life, I never thought were possible, and they came at unexpected times because I never gave up on them. I never stopped doing what I was doing, and I used my time wisely. And in the back of my head, I wake up every single day and I tell myself, I don't want to go to my deathbed with the regret of not trying. So the whole point of this is that you need to, one, value your time. Find out how much time you want to spend on every single part of your life or every task that you're doing in your life, and find out how much time that you don't want to be spending on those tasks, because your time is something that you can never get back. You can't get it back. Once it's used, it's gone. It's probably one of the only things that you can never get back. And a lot of people tell me that's not true. You have a lot of resources that you can use and you won't get them back. But when you actually think about it, resources are found all over the world. There's no scarcity of resource. There's no scarcity of money. The only thing that there's a scarcity of is time. And it's always going to be clicking down. And it doesn't stop because you don't feel good. It doesn't stop because you don't feel like working today. It's going to continue ticking down. It's going to continue moving down, and you're always going to be pressed against time. But don't feel like because you're pressed against time, you have to rush and do everything. You still have a good amount of time, but it's the value that you bring to the time that matters. Your value is what's going to matter the most. And in the end, if you can go down and you can say that you've had no regrets and that you've really tried and that you did everything that you could, and I'm not saying like just tell yourself that, yeah, I did everything I could. I mean, you really have to, you really, really, really have to mean it. And you really have to understand to yourself that I gave it everything that I had. I have no regrets. I have nothing left in my tank. And I guarantee you, if you're going that far down, and if you're saying you got nothing left, and you're saying that you're giving it everything that you had, and you know in the deepest of your hearts that you're giving it everything that you have, at that point in time, I know that you'll end up making it to wherever it is that you want to go. Those two things go hand in hand. Time and regret, man. They're two things that will drive you to your next level, and they're two things that you always constantly have to have on your mind. Because when you go out and your friends hit you up and they're like, hey, let's go out drinking, or hey, let's go to the club, or hey, let's do this, or hey, let's go to the game, you have to put in perspective how much time you have left and what's going to happen if you go. Are you going to regret your decision? Are you going to regret where you are in life because you ended up using your time differently than what you felt? And hey, I'm not telling you what to do with your life. I'm just letting you know that if you want something more in life than what you currently have right now, and you're not happy with where you are right now, it's most likely probably because the value system that you have instilled is not where it needs to be. And you know what? That's okay, because mine wasn't where it was supposed to be. But I found a way to make it where I wanted it, to get the things that I wanted in life, and pull myself out of the situation that I was in. And with this podcast, I'll be going over a lot more of these steps on how to change your life and look at these traits and go over every little single thing that we can. And if you guys have any questions, or if you guys want to leave me a comment, I'm going to leave my email, shoot one over, and I'll go ahead and answer your questions on my next podcast. And that's what I want to do with this podcast. As you can see, my title is Become Legend, and every single person has legendary inside of them. Being a legend, you're not born with it. You become a legend. And that's what my channel is all about. That's what my podcast is all about. And that's what I'm devoting my life for, because I don't want people to feel the way that I did. I want them to be able to live the life that they should be living, because everybody deserves that life. And you know what? That's what I'm here for. So hey, if you like what you hear, go ahead and shoot me an email, leave me a like, leave me a comment, leave me a post. I'll get back to them. Follow me on my social media. Right now I'm starting that out, so we'll see how that goes, and I'll find out which one works best for me. So I'll let you guys know on my next podcast, and thank you for listening, and I appreciate it.